Long before Japan became obsessed with a foil-wrapped chocolate wafer, the product wasn't even Japanese at all. It was born thousands of miles away, in a factory in York, England in 1935, created by a company called Rowntree's as a simple treat for factory workers who needed something quick, affordable, and satisfying during their breaks. Nobody in that English factory could have imagined that decades later, this humble snack would become something closer to a spiritual object on the other side of the world. For years, Kit Kat remained exactly what it was designed to be, a convenient chocolate bar sold in corner shops across Britain and eventually licensed to other countries. It arrived in Japan in 1973, distributed quietly by Fujiya, without any grand marketing campaign or cultural strategy. At first, it was simply another imported snack competing for shelf space in a country already saturated with candy and biscuits. There was nothing to suggest this bar would ever become anything more than a passing novelty. But then, almost by accident, something extraordinary happened. Something rooted not in flavor, but in language. In the Kansai region of Japan, there exists a local dialect phrase, kitokatsu, which means "you will surely win." When spoken aloud, it sounds remarkably close to the name Kit Kat. This wasn't something Nestle planned. It wasn't something marketers designed in a boardroom. It was a coincidence of sound, a linguistic accident that would end up reshaping the identity of a global brand. Japanese students facing some of the most intense academic pressure in the world began noticing this phonetic connection. Entrance exams in Japan aren't just tests, they can determine the trajectory of an entire life, deciding which university a student attends and, by extension, which career doors remain open. In a culture where success is measured with such weight, any symbol of luck becomes deeply meaningful. And so, almost organically, Kit Kat transformed from a chocolate snack into something closer to a talisman. Parents began slipping Kit Kat bars into their children's exam day bags. Teachers handed them out before big tests. Convenience stores placed them near exam study guides. What started as a whispered superstition among a handful of students spread quietly through schools, then cities, then the entire country, until Kit Kat wasn't just candy anymore, it was hope, wrapped in foil. Nestle noticed, and instead of treating this as a strange cultural curiosity to observe from a distance, they leaned into it completely. The company partnered with Japan Post, allowing customers to mail Kit Kat bars directly to students as good luck exam gifts, complete with postage stamps designed specifically for the occasion. Suddenly, a foreign chocolate bar had become deeply woven into one of the most emotionally significant rituals in Japanese life, the pursuit of academic success. But the story doesn't end with luck alone. Because once Kit Kat secured emotional relevance, Nestle Japan made a decision that would separate this market from every other country in the world. They began creating flavors that existed nowhere else on Earth. Matcha green tea, wasabi, sake, purple sweet potato, sakura and cherry blossom, soy sauce, hojicha roasted tea, regional specialties tied to specific prefectures turning Kit Kat into a form of edible souvenir, something travelers were almost expected to bring back from a trip the same way they might bring back a postcard. Some flavors were released for only a few weeks, available in a single region, encouraging fans to hunt them down like collectors chasing rare items. This turned an ordinary chocolate bar into something Japan had never quite seen before. A snack that carried the emotional weight of tradition, the urgency of limited-time exclusivity, and the pride of regional identity, all wrapped inside the same instantly recognizable red packaging. Today, Japan is home to hundreds of unique Kit Kat flavors, far more than any other country, with new limited editions appearing constantly. Specialty Kit Kat stores now exist purely to showcase Japan's most elaborate versions, some crafted with the precision of fine chocolate rather than mass-produced candy. Tourists specifically seek them out. Locals gift them for exams, apologies, celebrations, and quiet, everyday kindness. None of this happened because a company designed the perfect global strategy from day one. It happened because a phonetic coincidence collided with cultural pressure, timing, and a willingness to adapt rather than resist. Where other brands might have dismissed a local pun as irrelevant, Nestlé Japan built an entire cultural ecosystem around it. So the real reason billions of Kit Kats disappear off shelves in Japan every year isn't really about chocolate at all. It's about hope before an exam. It's about a gift that says, "I believe in you," without needing to say anything at all. It's about a country that took a British snack bar and quietly turned it into something deeply, unmistakably its own. And somewhere right now, a nervous student is holding one in their hand, believing, just a little, that maybe, this time, luck really is on their side.